On a remote winter evening in the Carpathian Mountains, where heavy snow fell like a curtain, and silence hung so thick that even the wind seemed muffled, a 32-year-old man named Lukas Bauer, an avid outdoorsman from Munich, set out with his loyal dog, a German shepherd named Argo, for what he thought would be nothing more than a challenging day hike in the snowy wilderness. A chance to test his endurance, clear his mind, and feel alive in the solitude of nature's frozen beauty. But what began as a day of adventure would transform into a chilling tale of survival. One that would stretch over endless hours of despair, resilience, and unbreakable loyalty, as Lukas found himself cut off from the world. Lost without a phone signal, trapped in a blizzard that came crashing down without warning, and reliant on nothing but his instincts and the courage of the dog at his side. The day started with deceptive calm, crisp blue skies above, the sun glinting across snowdrifts, boots crunching rhythmically on hardened paths. Yet, in mountain lands, winter is treacherous, shifting in minutes, and as Lukas climbed higher, following trails that twisted through pines heavy with ice, he noticed the light dimming too quickly. Clouds gathering like an army of shadows, their edges bruised purple with the promise of a storm. And by the time he reached the ridge, the horizon had vanished, swallowed by thickening haze, as winds rose in angry gusts, biting against his face and numbing his hands despite his gloves. He pulled his jacket tighter, checked his phone for GPS, only to find the dreaded icon, no signal. He tried again and again, walking in different directions, raising the phone to the air as though elevation could change fate. But the screen remained cold and lifeless. And though panic whispered at the edges of his thoughts, Lukas forced calm into his voice as he muttered to Argo, "It's fine, boy. We'll be fine. Just a storm." Yet, inside he knew the dangers. For a mountain blizzard is not just snow. It is blindness, disorientation, and the slow theft of body heat. And many hikers before him had not returned. The storm hit fully by late afternoon, snow whipping sideways in sheets, reducing vision to a few feet, trails erased in minutes as though the mountain itself wished to devour them. And Lukas realized he could no longer tell where he had come from, nor where safety lay. Every direction looked identical, a blank page of white, and his compass needle jittered under the storm's magnetic pull, giving no true answer. He called out, though no one could hear. His voice was stolen by the howl of wind, and as night fell prematurely, he felt a sharp weight of dread, the kind that creeps into the bones. He pushed forward blindly, stumbling through knee-deep snow, his breath tearing in sharp clouds. But every step drained him, cold seeping through layers, hunger gnawing at his stomach, thirst burning his throat. Argo trotted beside him, ears pricked, eyes sharp, never straying, as though sensing the gravity of their plight. Hours passed, each one longer than the last, until Lukas collapsed against a snow-covered boulder, exhaustion overtaking his will, and for a terrifying moment, he thought of simply lying back, letting sleep come, letting the storm take him, because the warmth of surrender whispered seductively in the freezing dark. But Argo would not allow it. He pressed against Lukas, body heat sharing, pawing at his chest, barking sharply into his face, pulling him back from the edge of fatal drowsiness. Shaking, Lukas forced himself upright, whispering gratitude through chattering teeth, and the two pushed onward, guided by instinct more than reason. By dawn of the second day, the storm had eased, but left only desolation. Endless white plains, broken by skeletal trees. No sign of a path, no human prints, no rescue. Only silence and biting wind, and Lukas felt despair claw at him again, because his phone was useless, his food gone, and his body weakening. Yet it was Argo who became his compass. The dog sniffed the air, tugged him in directions Lukas would not have chosen, barking when he hesitated, urging him onward. At times Lukas doubted, thinking perhaps Argo was chasing scents of animals or nothing at all. But when he looked into the dog's eyes, bright, unwavering, full of determination, he chose to trust. They trudged together through valleys where snow nearly swallowed them, across frozen streams where ice cracked ominously beneath boots, up ridges that felt endless, and at night Lukas fashioned crude shelters of branches and snow walls, curling against Argo for warmth, whispering stories from childhood just to keep his voice alive. And the dog, ever faithful, listened in silence, breathing steady, the single reminder that he was not alone. But survival wears down even the strongest. And by the third day, Lukas's strength faltered dangerously. His lips cracked and bled, his skin raw from cold, his vision blurred, and in moments of near delirium, he saw flickers of figures in the snow, imagined lights where none shone, heard voices calling his name, only to realize it was wind through branches. And yet still, he stumbled forward, urged on by Argo's insistent presence. Then, in a moment that would later be retold as miraculous, Argo suddenly stopped, ears high, nose twitching furiously. The dog barked, sharp and insistent, before sprinting ahead, disappearing into the white, leaving Lukas screaming in hoarse panic. "Argo, don't leave me!" But moments later the bark came again, this time distant, echoing, and then another sound followed. Voices, faint but real, human voices calling back. Lukas fell to his knees in disbelief, crawling forward until shadows emerged through the storm. Mountain rescue volunteers, bright jackets cutting through the snow. Drawn not by Lukas's failing cries, but by Argo's relentless barking, the dog, who had raced ahead to find them, who had led them straight back to his collapsing master. The rescuers rushed forward, wrapping Lukas in thermal blankets, giving him warm fluids, checking vitals, and as they lifted him onto a stretcher, Lukas's trembling hand clung to Argo's fur, whispering words too broken to hear. But his eyes told all. The gratitude, the love, the understanding that, without this dog, this loyal companion, he would have become another forgotten hiker claimed by the mountain. The helicopter blades roared above, lifting him away from the endless white, while Argo was held gently by a rescuer at his side, tail wagging despite exhaustion. A hero, unaware of the headlines his actions would create. In the days that followed, Lukas's story spread across Europe. Newspapers printing the miraculous survival under titles like "Lost in the Snow Without a Phone, the Dog Who Found Help in a Blizzard." Television anchors retelling how a loyal German shepherd refused to give up. Psychologists analyzing the bond between man and dog. Survival experts explaining how hypothermia nearly claimed him, but companionship kept him alive. Yet for Lukas himself, lying pale in a hospital bed, with Argo curled faithfully at his feet, no analysis mattered. No headlines captured the truth, because what he knew, deep in his soul, was that in the loneliest hours of the storm, when the mountains whispered death and surrender seemed easier than another breath, it was not skill, not strength, not luck that saved him. It was love, loyalty, and the unshakable will of a dog who refused to let his master die.